Hello, I'm Kev, your living proof that you're never too old, and this is my comics pull list for the week of the 6th of July 2016. It's a big DC Rebirth week after they had a complete week off from it last week. In fact, I think this is the biggest week of DC Rebirth books that we've had had so far, with 6 books out this week, which means we're reaching the point where we have to start thinning the herd. I can't be getting 6 DC books every single week going forward, because before all this DC Rebirth stuff kicked off, I was getting about 6 books a week tops, and I'm still getting them on top of the DC ones, so my bank account will not let me stick with all these DC books, so we need to start thinning them out. And the obvious one that we're going to thin out, the first one that we're looking at this week, Aquaman number 2. I've not been massively impressed with the Rebirth or issue 1s of Aquaman. I only pre-ordered up to issue 2, so it needs to do something pretty spectacular this week to convince me that I should be subscribing to this one and adding it to my pull list going forward. So I think, unless there's something awesome coming, it's going to be the end of my run on Aquaman. And to be honest, I've already lasted longer than I did on the New 52 relaunch. I made it 1 issue in, then realised I had no idea who Aquaman was, no idea what was going on, and dropped it immediately and have never gone back. And I feel like the same thing might be about to happen again. The other, I mean, Batman's an odd one, because going back a long time, I've always subscribed to Batman for at least since the start of the New 52, probably for a few months before that as well, as I was getting excited that was coming. So we're going back sort of 5-6 years of subscribing to Batman, but I've not been massively impressed with Rebirth or issue 1, although at the end of issue 1 we obviously did get the emergence of the 2 potential new superheroes or supervillains. I imagine if you look on the internet you know what they are by now, but I certainly don't know what they are yet. Are they villains? Are they heroes? Who knows? I can't see myself dropping Batman, but I'm not enjoying it as much as the other ones, and I think introducing these new characters the way they are is a big gamble, but they could turn out to be awesome and save the series for me. But I don't know, I don't want to drop it, but I can't afford to keep it going if it's not being read until Sunday afternoon, because it's 12th on my list of popular books that week. So it's an odd phase for Batman, especially when Detective Comics has started so strongly, and I'm really enjoying that one. It's odd that I might actually be dropping the Batman title, but hopefully all will be forgiven by the time I read this issue, and I'll be back on board and keeping this one going for a long time to come. Green Arrow number 2 also out. This one has been awesome so far. I'm loving the whole Green Arrow Black Canary relationship stuff, and also the fact that Ollie was massively double crossed at the end of issue 1 and pretty much left for dead. So it's going to be interesting to see how he gets himself out of that pickle going into issue 2, but really looking forward to that. It's one of my favourite series of Rebirth so far, not just because I'm a Green Arrow nerd. I'm not really. I like the TV show. I've sort of been in and out of the comics over the years, but never really read it month to month. So it's good that this one is hooking me in and has been a really strong start, because I would like to have a long-running subscription to a Green Arrow book, because I feel like I should, because I have so many Green Arrow pop vinyls. Green Lanterns number 2 has been awesome. I really like the relationship between the 2 new Green Lanterns. I think they're very cool. I'm interested to see where this is going. I've been getting into Green Lantern more and more over the last few months anyway, having read the Green Lantern Rebirth from like 10 years ago from Jeff Johns. Really enjoyed that. Like the whole Green Lantern stuff. So definitely going to be keeping hold of this one. And this is going to be one of the first books I read this week, so I'm really looking forward to it, because I like the way they've started this series off. And this one, This is the one that's probably going to take the place of Aquaman in my rotation, because we've got the Justice League Rebirth book finally. So we can see from the promotional art that they've put out there that it's a familiar looking Justice League lineup. So we've got Batman, Superman, Cyborg, Flash, the 2 new Green Lanterns, Aquaman and Wonder Woman. So at least I'll know what they've all been up to, because I've read all the individual books. Although Cyborg hasn't had a book yet, which is odd that he's getting. I suppose perhaps the Justice League book's going to be quite focused on him. I know when they did Justice League for the New 52, I vaguely remember the first arc being quite Cyborg heavy, so perhaps this is the series where he's going to call home for a little while, because I don't even remember seeing when his solo book is coming, if it's coming. But looking forward to see what they do with this. I've not read any Justice League stuff for 2 or 3 years, so I have no idea what's been going on, but it'll be interesting to see how they rebirth it. And then we've got Superman number 2. Not really feeling this one so far. I think this is another one that's on the chopping block. Because I've been out of Superman for a little while, I don't really know what's going on with the old Superman coming back and becoming new Superman again, and the new 52 Superman being dead, but then is he dead? And little baby Superboy, I'm not feeling it. We'll see how they do this week, but again, same situation as with Aquaman. I pre-ordered up to issue 2. If they don't impress me this week, this will be the last I read, and I might pick it up in trades and stuff if it becomes significant, but I don't feel like I'll be missing out on anything massive if I just drop Superman entirely, which is exactly what I've done in the past. I'm just not really a Superman guy. So that was your lot for DC. Marvel, I'm still very reluctant to buy Marvel books because I've got Marvel Unlimited and they all end up on there eventually, but I am really looking forward to this one. I enjoyed Vote Loki issue 1. It's quite topical and relevant at the moment of what's going on politically in both the US and the UK, so it's good to see a little alternate look at how an election could be, and interesting to see if Loki gets himself elected and how he does it. And he probably ain't gonna be a bad president, is he? Let's face it. So definitely pick this one up. It's only a limited series of 4, so I'm quite happy to outlay on 4 books just to read them now rather than waiting for them to appear on Marvel Unlimited later down the line. The Walking Dead, and what a cover that is for Walking Dead 156. We've got Negan and Alpha. I think that's Alpha. It's probably Alpha, isn't it? In a very romantic pose, and the whole relationship that they're building between those two looks like it's going to be so much fun. I love Negan. He's the best character in The Walking Dead by a country mile, and it's really interesting to see he's kind of met his match in that there's a more evil psychotic leader than him out there, and he decided he wants to make a play for her. And obviously we've got the whole what's that going to mean with Rick's lot as well, and Walking Dead just consistently good. I can't imagine a time when I'll drop this book. I've been in for 155 issues now. I kind of have to see it through, and looking forward to it again because they're constantly reinventing it with awesome stuff like this current Whisperers storyline. Paper Girls, number 7, possibly my favourite newish series of the year. I know it came out towards the end of last year and we had a little bit of a break, which is why we're only on issue 7 going into July. But I love anything and everything Brian K. Vaughan has ever been involved in. I really, really like the change in direction and timeline that we've had with Paper Girls at the end of the first arc going into the second arc, which this is now the second issue of the second arc. If you haven't read this yet, I'm reluctant to spoil it for you because it's brilliant. Just go and read it. If you don't even look at what it's about. The synopsis and stuff doesn't do it justice. It's just brilliantly written, really clever, and I still 7 issues in don't really know where they're going with the story, but I really, really like it. So you've got to check out Paper Girls, and it's early enough in the run for you to just go out, pick up the first 6, get issue 7 this week, get caught up with what is a really, really cool series. And especially because it's an Image book, you can get the first arc, the first trade paperback, which I think is the first 5 issues, for like £6. So get out there, get it bought. Giant Days. Giant Days number 16. I love Giant Days. It's ridiculous. It's over the top university life nonsense. It's set in Britain. And it's just consistently very, very funny. If you haven't read any of this yet, just pick it up. I don't need to do a sales pitch on Giant Days. It's one of the best ongoing series out there at the moment. If you're not reading this, if you're not into comics because you just think it's all superhero nonsense, this is the absolute opposite of that. This is everything that's good about indie comics and comics that aren't anything to do with superheroes. It is just real life, turn up to 11. It's funny, it's ridiculous. It's the comic I wish I'd written, and the art style is really cool as well. So just go and get Giant Days. Again, it's one where you can pick up the first trade relatively cheap. I think I got it off the internet for like £7 or £8. And we're still only 16 issues in, so you can get caught up anyway. Just read Giant Days, it's brilliant. Stray Bullets, Sunshine and Roses number 16 is out. This is a series that I knew nothing about until about a month ago when I guess they must have been on offer on Comixology, and I just picked up at the time, I think it was the first 12 or 13 issues, because they were half price. Read them through in the space of about 2 days. It is superb. It's... How would you describe Stray Bullets, Sunshine and Roses? It's black and white. It's set in like the late 70s, early 80s. It's... crime gang, but 2 people are sort of on the outside of it ish and don't really want to be involved in it. and just the antics that they get up to. And it's another one similar to what we were saying with Green Arrow, how he's been painted in a corner and how on earth he's going to get out of it. At the end of issue 15 of Stray Bullets, Sunshine and Roses, I don't know how our protagonists, I don't know where they go from here or what they can do. It might be game over for them. I don't know how long this series is going to be running for. It's the 5th or the 6th volume of Stray Bullets now. I haven't read any of the other ones. I don't know how long they go on, but it feels like we're heading towards a climax, and an awesome one, and can't wait to see where they go with it this issue. And I probably should look up to see if this is maybe nearing the end or the end maybe, but very, very cool. Check this one out. And that's your lot. I know that's quite a long pull list this week. We've got like, 10, 12 books on there. Blame DC. When they bring out 6 Rebirth books in the week, when there's loads of other awesome stuff out as well, there's not a lot we can do about it. My personal justification for it is the fact that last week I didn't buy anything because it was the 5th week of the month. There wasn't really anything out. So I had a week off last week, so I can buy 12 books this week and not feel guilty for it. If I've missed any out, let me know in the comments what you're going to be picking up this week. I'm always looking to try new stuff and would love to hear what you lot are going to be reading. And let me know what you thought of the books on the list as well. There'll be a review of them coming out over the weekend, I guess, once I've got them all read, and would love to hear your thoughts on them in the comments, so I can perhaps include some of those in the review video as well. If you've enjoyed that, make sure you pop a like on there for me, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and thank you very much for watching.